Sometimes the obvious thing isn't always the correct thing to do. And my encouragement for you today, just because there's an obvious solution or the obvious next step, doesn't mean that's the step that God's leading you to actually move toward. In 1 Samuel 17, verses 39 and 40, David, he's going into battle against Goliath. And the obviously correct thing culturally would be to use battle armor. So King Saul gives David battle armor. David tries it on, but he doesn't trust in it. He trusts in the Lord. Even though the obvious thing was to wear the battle armor, David said no. Even though it was the right cultural thing, and that's what you did when you went to battle, you wore armor, David said, no, I'm not going to trust that. I'm going to trust the leading of the Holy Spirit. So sometimes God leads you to do something that's not obvious. That's not the cultural thing to do. That's not the right, correct, good thing to do in society's eyes. Sometimes he'll say, put down the battle armor even though you're going into battle, and use a sling and a staff. And the question is, are we willing to put down that battle armor even though it's the obvious thing to do? I want to live in such a way that I don't just act in a way where I'm not intentional about seeking Holy Spirit. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to act or think in a certain way without the leading of the Holy Spirit. And if we've been conditioned to act a certain way or just do things automatically because culture's doing them, because the church is doing them, because everyone else is doing them, we actually don't give room for the Holy Spirit to move in and through us and direct us and speak to us what He's doing in that certain moment. So my encouragement to you, if there's an obvious thing, if there's not an obvious thing, ask the Lord what He wants you to do, because sometimes He'll want you to put down the battle armor and pick up the slingshot and the staff. But are we willing to sacrifice cultural norms, Christian norms, for the leading of the Holy Spirit? Now, sometimes He'll lead us to do the obvious thing, but sometimes He won't. Are you willing to put down the armor and to follow God no matter what it looks like?